Okay, with the virus spreading every day, our healthcare system faces its greatest challenge in decades. To help fight COVID-19, the FDA has fast-tracked the approval of critical tests and drugs to help treat patients. Joining us from New York tonight is Peter Pitts, former FDA Associate Commissioner and co-founder of the Center for Medicine in the Public Interest. Peter, thanks so much for joining us. I know you're in New York, 3 hours ahead of us. Let's talk about testing right now. That's been the big headline every day. Why has it been so hard to get enough tests?
Well, we should have gotten started sooner. We've done very well. We have some new tests that were approved on Friday by the FDA. They can get results in as little as 5 minutes. And that's incredibly important because we don't want people queuing up outside of hospitals and clinics who think they're sick. Obviously, you don't want those people getting each other sick. Plus, the old tests took sometimes a couple of days or even a week to get a result, and that's not good. Doctors need a diagnosis. These new tests can give a positive or negative diagnosis in about 5 minutes so that a doctor can actually prescribe the best treatment. In fact, these new tests are about the machine that reads the tests are about the size of a toaster. So they can be in the doctor's office. So now you don't have to go to the hospital or a clinic. You can go to your own doctor's office, get a diagnosis, and you and your doctor can discuss what the best treatment is for you. We still need more tests, just as we need more ventilators, but we're absolutely going in the right direction.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to meet the surge happening in many states. Let's talk about the experimental treatments. We've heard about that anti-malaria drug paired with an antibiotic that could help treat the most seriously ill COVID-19 patients. Can you tell us about that?
Well, the FDA has issued an emergency use exemption for fluoroquinolone and zithromycin. We still need solid science. So while we're doing clinical studies to actually get the science in the traditional way, we're also doing what's called parallel tracking, which is allowing physicians to prescribe these medicines to patients who they feel it will help. These medicines will make the symptoms less severe and theoretically should make the course of the disease quicker. But these are just anecdotes, and the plural of anecdote isn't data. And what doctors need to realize, too, is these are drugs used for many other purposes. For example, patients with lupus and rheumatoid arthritis use these drugs chronically. So we don't want to create a shortage because people are rushing to get these drugs from their physician. 85% of people who have COVID-19 can stay at home, drink fluids, get plenty of rest, and they'll see their way through to the end of the tunnel. These drugs really are for people who are seriously ill in the hospital. So it's a degree of rationing, but we have to make sure the people that need it the most get it the quickest without causing shortages. So it's a bit of a finesse, but again, doctors know what to do, but patients need to be part of the solution. We need to realize that not getting a drug and staying home is helping others, and staying home, sheltering in place, isn't just about our being healthy. Yeah. It's about helping everybody else stay healthy as well. Right. And that's just crucial. You want to be a victor, not a vector in this type of a situation.
That's a number we need to remind people. 80 to 85% of people diagnosed with COVID-19 can recover at home just by staying at home and treating the symptoms there. Leave the medication for the more seriously ill patients. Okay, let's talk about the vaccine. We keep hearing 12 to 18 months, which is considered like basically fast track. But you're saying we could see it sooner.
Well, I'm hearing about 10 months to a year. I mean, there are a number of companies around the world who are working on this. So you have a number of shots on goal. So the odds are pretty good. But it's not going to be fast enough for the current crisis. We're also looking at what's called convalescent plasma, which are the antibodies developed by people who have already had COVID-19 as a potential, not a vaccine, but as a treatment for people who are currently having the virus or might be prone to getting the virus. But again, you need to prioritize the folks that get that treatment as well. And that's being developed. And there are companies in the Bay Area, Genentech, Gilead, Amgen, who are trying to do studies to repurpose existing drugs, as well as looking at experimental medicines not yet approved by the FDA to deal with COVID-19. So while you guys are appropriately sheltering in place, as we are here in New York, people are hard at work in the Bay Area trying to solve this problem as well.
Okay, Peter Pitts joining us from New York. Thank you so much for that information and clarifying some confusion and questions out there. Hope to chat with you again in the future.
My pleasure. Stay safe.
You too.